What are your thoughts on the body positivity movement?
Oh, man. All right. I think the body positivity movement started off with good intent and good reasons. I think that there's no question that generally speaking, people who are, and like, listen, generally speaking, people who are severely overweight struggle in many areas of society and culture. There's no question about it. There is prejudice against them. There's so many things. Absolutely. There's no question. I think they were just like, listen, we want to be treated more fairly. We want to be less stigmatized, all of that. And not to mention, I think that the fitness industry has led people to believe that being shredded equates to being healthy, and that anyone even with a slight amount of body fat must be unhealthy because they're not shredded. So on making a slightly higher body fat percentage and understanding that if you're still in a healthier range, you're good. Like that's really, really important. I think that's where it started with those two things. I think it's also important to mention that people who are severely underweight are also stigmatized and they have issues as well. You know, ever heard like people be like, "Oh, eat a goddamn hamburger" or something like that. It's like, that's same thing, different, other end of the spectrum. With that being said, like I've said a million times, the fitness industry runs on a pendulum of extremes. And it started off with good intent and a relatively moderate idea, and it's swung way too far. And it's gone way, way, way too far, I think, leading to the whole health at every size idea that you can be healthy at literally any size, which is so fucking stupid and short-sighted. And I actually think it's going to end up killing people and ruining lives in the long term. No one would ever argue that you can be super, like, unbelievably underweight and still be healthy. You can be severely, severely underweight, malnourished, have real health issues, right? So you can't be healthy at any size, especially if you're severely underweight. And it goes with the same severely overweight as well. There's no question that being severely overweight, having too much body fat is like the number one cause leading to heart disease, leading to cardiovascular issues, leading to diabetes, to so many health issues along the road that people are dying from. Not to mention more recently, if we look at the people who were most vulnerable to COVID, it was people who were not exercising and they were severely overweight. Like, we can see that very clearly. This is like not even news anymore. We know the people who were most vulnerable were the people who were severely overweight and not exercising. So yes, you are vastly more likely to be unhealthy at higher body fat percentages. That doesn't mean like using the BMI, generally the middle ranges, like in the middle ranges, you're good. But on either end of the extreme, there's real health issues there, whether it's too low or too high. I think there's just no question the body positivity movement has gone too far at this point, and it's actually very scary to see. I get DMs from people every week, multiple times a week, people being like, I really fell into that health at every size movement. I ended up gaining 40 pounds and I'm way worse than I was before. Now my cholesterol is high, my blood pressure is high, this is high, that is high. It's like, I think one of the easiest ways to look at this is how many really old, really fat people have you seen in your life? Like, how many people have you seen who are like super, super old and very, very overweight? And the answer is probably none, because the oldest people that you see are all pretty small. Like, they're all like relatively small. Like, there's a reason why bodybuilders have a relatively low lifespan. They have so much mass on them. It's too difficult for your heart. It's not like you can have excess body fat relatively and be healthy, but there's a certain point where excess body fat becomes way too difficult for your body to handle, and it has so many negative downstream health effects. So yeah, body positivity movement started off with great intent and it's gone way too far.
Well said.
What do you think?
Listen, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I like that you approach it from the perspective of where we were previously, why it started, and what the problems within fitness were that led to it starting. The unrealistic expectations, the, magazine models, photoshopped, dehydrated, unhealthily lean, etc. And that becoming like the gold standard norm target that people should aim for. And on top of that, the mistake of associating peak aesthetics with peak health, which are not the same thing. Optimal, let's just call it aesthetics are different. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but like we'll call it like bodybuilding aesthetics equal optimal health. There's a reason that no one ever in history walked around stage lean for an entire year or multiple years.
Correct.
And if they did,
Yeah.
they suffered substantially as a result of doing so. But yeah,
there's something else that
and then just to cap that, like you said, being very overweight, being obese leads to a host of health issues down the road. That's a scientific fact. Leads to, let me be precise with my words, leads to an increased risk of many diseases that end up shortening lifespan and reducing health span and quality of life. And maintaining a healthy weight, a healthy body fat percentage will increase average lifespan, as well as what you can do, and your health span is the Peter Attia term of like basically how much you can enjoy those years. Not only are you alive, but what can you do with your body during those years?